Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Fried and True. And I'm really stoked tonight because we are doing one of my favorite things to make and eat of all time, wings and fries. And there's a few things I really like about this recipe, but before we talk about wings and fries, I'm going to do the cocktail because I am starting a 4-day weekend, which I'm incredibly excited about. So the cocktail we're going to start with tonight is called a Manhattan, and a Manhattan is rye or bourbon. It depends on where you're from. If you order a Manhattan on the East Coast, you're going to get rye. If you order it like Midwest or further west, you're going to get it with bourbon. They're both good. I happen to have rye on hand, so I'm going to do that. It also calls for sweet vermouth, which is this stuff right here. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to garnish it with a cherry, which we'll talk about in a second. Manhattan cocktail has been around for a long time, and there are no exact specific origins for the cocktail. Most people think it was created in New York at the Manhattan Club, but the Turf Club, which is also a popular club in New York, has also laid claim to the recipe. So it doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead and make this because I want to start celebrating my weekend here. This is a very straightforward thing to build. So this is a built drink. Sorry, not a built drink. It's mixed in the shaker drink, not shaken, mixed in the jug here. So a built drink you build in the glass. Shake drink you shake. What we're doing here is we're actually just gonna make it in the little decanter here. Misplaced my spoon. I'll use this one. Okay, so in general, and you have to play with your ratios for Manhattan, but a really good place to start is 3 parts of your spirit, bourbon or whiskey, or bourbon or rye, and 1 part sweet vermouth. However, ryes and vermouths are all different, and the balance in a Manhattan can be a little bit tricky to get, so you kind of have to experiment yourself because you don't want like a super strong whiskey flavor, but at the same time, you don't want the vermouth to overpower it either. So that's 2 ounces there, and that means about 3/4 of an ounce of vermouth. Put it out of the way, and we are going to add ice. Lots of ice tonight. Now again, the ice does a few things in this drink. Obviously it chills the drink, but the ice also dilutes the cocktail because most drinks that you would make this way, if you didn't use ice, if you had some way to cool it, and it's one of the problems I have with those stupid whiskey stones that you get, that cool your drink without diluting it. You need to be able to dilute your drink to a proper consistency. It takes some of the harshness, some of the edge off the spirit, which you actually want. But again, I mean, if you like it straight up or you take your drinks neat, go ahead and do that. But for a traditional cocktail, we're going to do it this way. Strain this guy. You'll also notice that these ingredients are basically the same as a martini. Martini, of course, is gin and white vermouth. So this is, in a lot of ways, this is simply like a whiskey or a rye martini. So, cherries. I think we've talked about maraschino cherries a few times before. The original maraschino cherries were, of course, Marasca cherries, and it's actually maraschino, but nobody says maraschino. So I'm going to say maraschino, even though it should be maraschino. But the original maraschino cherries were Marasca cherries, soaked in either brandy or, in this case, maraschino liquor. These are really easy to make. Don't use the ones you buy in the supermarket. They're really nasty. The way they make those is they desiccate the cherry, like they suck all the flavor out of the cherry, and then they reconstitute it in a really high fructose corn syrup kind of blend to put a little bit of flavor back into it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Cherries taste great just the way they are. I was going to be fancy and put this on a pick. I normally just drop them in, but if you want to do this properly, you can just like pop it on a toothpick and throw it in there. That is going to poke me in the eye. I think that's a terrible idea, but anyway. So there you go, guys. Really straightforward. I highly recommend doing this, by the way. If you use, if you're making yourself old fashions, any kind of whiskey cocktail, making maraschino cherries is super easy. Just keep it on your bar cart, and you'll be good to go. This is just freaking me out. Toothpick was a dumb idea. So, cheers. Here's to the start of the week. And this is one of my favorites. Wow. Okay, so the blend on this one is perfect. So if you're using Alberta Premium and Martini Rossi Vermouth, 3-to-1 is the way to go. Any questions on a Manhattan before we continue? Okay then, let's talk about wings and fries. Why do I like wings and fries so much? First of all, wings and fries is kind of interesting because it's one of the few recipes where they can pinpoint the exact origin of the recipe. And it literally came from the Anchor Bar and Grill when the wife, husband and wife owned the Anchor Bar and Grill, and the wife's son was visiting from college, and he came home with a bunch of his friends to the bar after it was closed, and they were all hungry, and she didn't really have anything on hand, so she threw chicken wings in the deep fryer, and she made a quick sauce with Frank's Red Hot and butter, and served it with blue cheese, and the rest is history. It's just like a serendipitous taste sensation that she happened to stumble upon. I think it's great. So, there we go. I don't know what a tier 1 is, but that is kind of cool. So we're working on the chat to make it a little more interactive. So I'll try and figure what that means in a second. Anyway, so there you go. Nice. It's nice recipe because it's got a real origin story. It's not like the Manhattan. Everybody knows exactly where it came from. I did say we would make our own hot sauce, and we're going to start with that. Let's just review all the ingredients first, I think. Now let's just go straight into the hot sauce. So I have here cayenne peppers. So Frank's Red Hot, which I have. Oh, not this one. Hang on. This isn't Frank's, by the way. So I'm going to show you the traditional original sauce with Frank's Red Hot. But it just so happens the other week when I was making wings, I forgot to look in the fridge and forgot to look in the cupboard. I was out of Frank's. I just had an empty bottle. And so I made my own hot sauce. This one I made 2 weeks ago, maybe. This is a habanero with the only peppers I happen to have on hand. This tastes amazing. So I will warn you, I think that once you start making your own hot sauce, you probably won't go back to Frank's. I love this stuff. It's great. I use it in a lot of things, and it's one of the better prepared hot sauces. I will say that once you, once you jump into your own stuff, you're going to love it. This tastes so much brighter and fresher. It's kind of hard to describe. So, but we're going to do it. I managed to find cayenne peppers, and cayenne peppers actually aren't that easy to find. But anyway, I found some. So let's do the hot sauce first because it has to simmer for about 20 minutes. And the other thing I'm going to do this week, guys, is a little more of the prep with you. Thank you. I don't have a skin routine other than the fact that... no, I don't have one. I mean, that's it. I shave with a straight razor. I think that helps. But that's about it. But thanks. Okay, so we're going to go on with... hot peppers. These are cayenne peppers. You can make hot pepper sauce with anything you want. Habaneros, serranos, poblanos. At some point in the near future, I'm going to take some of my dried chili peppers, like I have anchos and guajillo and all the fun Mexican chilies. And I will... I have to stretch? How did you redeem that already? All right, I'm stretching. Here we go. Stretch. So this is the little interactive chat thing. Okay, so let's cut these guys up. We're really going to go... Oh, what I was saying was I'm going to do more prep with you guys this week. This is a pretty simple recipe, so I don't have to prep so much in advance. I have way too many peppers, I think. Always be careful when you're working with peppers, especially like the hotter peppers like habaneros or Scotch bonnets or cayennes or Carolina Reapers and stuff. You know, you can really do yourself a disservice by getting this in any of your mucous membranes. So just be mindful of that. But I think that's about the right number of peppers for what we're doing here. So the other ingredient, sauce ingredients. This is just white vinegar. You could use cider vinegar, which is what I used for my habanero. I'm actually going to put in a little bit of garlic in this one, and probably some salt. You can season this any way you want, but I would recommend just start. Like again, we get down to the very basics of the recipe. You need vinegar, you need peppers, and that's it. So don't overcomplicate it. Experiment with it first before you start adding your flavors. So just get these garlic guys out. So I got they're cayenne peppers. I actually found actual cayenne peppers, which are, believe me, not easy to find. Serranos would work great. Poblanos would work great. Cubanelles would work fine. I don't want you. These little things in the garlic are totally harmless, but they're quite bitter, so I'm going to take it out. All right. And we're just going to run the knife over all this stuff. So this is going to go in a pot with about I'm going to start with 1.5 cups of vinegar, I think. And I already don't like, I want more peppers in here. Yeah, I'm on the right camera. I just feel like I'm not going to get the color, the consistency I want. These are little peppers. So let's just ramp it up here. Sometimes you can just tell as you go that something needs more. What do you think? Maybe a couple more? There's a couple big ones here. Oh yeah, my tip for the week was going to be... Oh yeah, we got a tip for the week. We got a cool thing. But the cool thing isn't really directly related to what we're doing this week. So we'll do that in a sec. Yeah, I feel better about this. This looks good. So let's get this into a pot. Set this aside for a sec. And I'll do this for you guys. Get it going here anyway. Oh yeah, actually one of the cool things was in fact this burner, which I've become quite attached to. And one of the reasons I like it so much is I've discovered... So I got this burner for the stream so that I could do everything... that's a good question. I think they do add more heat, and it also depends on whether you leave the seeds in. And I haven't actually decided what I'm going to do here yet. So I do know that once this comes to a boil and simmers off, I'm going to blitz it in the blender, and I can already tell. I'm just looking at the consistency here, and we just don't have enough peppers here. We're going to ramp this up a bit. I think you will hit a limit on how spicy you can make something. I mean, eventually it just becomes like pure peppers, right? But I'm actually aiming for a spicy sauce because I already have Frank's here, so I'm kind of like gonna try and go like Frank's plus. I also have some like little Thai chili peppers as well, little bird beak ones, which I'm going to experiment with on another day. But also remember, this is going on wings too. Like, I'm not a huge fan of like the insanely hot wing. Like, I love hot food, and there's a place for it. And believe me, when we get to cheese buldak, you'll see what spicy is. However, at some point, it's too much, you know? So I did want to talk about this burner, because it's great. I actually cook on this a fair bit, even off stream. And you can see how fast this comes up to a boil. So it's extremely powerful. But the other thing is a Japanese company called Iwatani, which had good reviews on Amazon. But they make all kinds of accessories for it. And when we get to the street food, I think I showed you guys last week the little pan. Oh, it's really spicy already. Wow. I just pepper sprayed myself. Thank you. I made it, and it's funny. I'll tell you a funny story about that, because I made it by accident. So this is a... Wow. Okay, I'm moving this. This is a takoyaki pan, and it actually... this one it's made by the same company. Drops right on here. When we get to this is cool. This is going to be a lot of fun. And there's also like there's a Korean barbecue attachment for this one, and an actual like grill attachment. So, wow. Okay, excuse me for just a sec. You know when you order wings in a restaurant, and they put them in front of you, and you get that initial inhale, especially if you ever went to like Duff's, that initial inhaling of the vinegar. I've been doing that to myself. Okay, but moving along. So that's got to simmer for about 20 minutes. So we're going to move on to the next part of the prep, which is going to be chicken wings. Oh, no, we're going to do fries next. So let's talk about fries. I love French fries. And I spent a lot of time on how to make the perfect fry. So with French fries, you can hand cut them, by the way. I had this little fancy thing. There's nothing wrong with hand cutting your fries. I did it for years. Wow. Excuse me. Okay, take a break. I'm going to do this little ASMR thing for a sec while we do the fries. Until my throat clears. Yeah, hydrate. Water. Just a sec.
Did you get the plates in the oven?
What?
Did you get the plates in the oven?
I didn't see it. Was there plates in the oven?
There was.
Didn't see it. Oh, plates in the oven. Okay, well, we don't need plates in the oven today. But you know what? I'll pop the wing bowls in the oven because I gotta serve them in that. Okay, thank you for the hydration reminder. Feeling a little better. Damn, that was like something else, guys. Alright, plates are in the oven. Okay, so I was talking about hand cutting fries. I hand cut my fries for years. This little attachment thing works great. This makes perfect McDonald's size fries. So if you like your fries chunky, this won't do it. You need to be really careful with these. They're extremely sharp, obviously. But I don't know if you guys can see here. Like, this just makes short work of. And I find this is actually, for a home deep fryer, this is a really good size for fries. So this is what we're doing. We're going to talk about the deep fryer in a sec, because there's a lot of misconceptions about deep fryers. That they make the food oily and greasy, and there's a lot of like little mistakes you can make when you're deep frying food that will give you greasy and unpleasant food. So let me just zip off the rest of the fries. There we go. So, yeah, mandolins are great, guys. Like, you can use these for, obviously, a lot more than just fries. That's a good question. I know that Banana Socks went back through the past streams and renamed all of the saved ones. I'm not sure if you can rename the actual name of the stream because I think it just goes by your account name. So we'd have to look into that. Okay, so there you go. Fries. Very straightforward. Ready to go. So to do fries properly, you got to fry them twice. And I mean, ideally, you want to do your first fry at around 330 degrees Fahrenheit, and you want to do your second fry around 370. I don't have that option with my deep fryer, which is right here. It's preset at... okay, there you go. Well, I'll set it up for next week. I can only do 365 on mine. But I will say that the fries do benefit from two frying. So you do your first frying. I do them for about 3.5 minutes for this size. And then you do the second one when you're ready to serve them. And let them rest like maybe half an hour in between. But you can also leave them for a long time. You put them in the fridge overnight. Do whatever you want. So the thing with a deep fryer is, and the mistake people make is, the reason your food gets oily in a deep fryer is if your oil temperature... So if I put this in one little fry in... can we get rid of that guy? There we go. If I put one fry in the deep fryer, the oil temperature won't change. It'll stay at 360 degrees. And as this guy fries, all the water in the fry will... it boils off and it keeps expanding gas, which prevents oil from going into the fry. And if I put two fries in, the same thing will happen. But if I put this whole pan of fries in my deep fryer, I'm going to drop the oil temperature a lot. And if you drop your oil temperature below the boiling point of water, actually even if you get close, I don't want to drop below about 250, you start to lose that instant steam expansion of your food. And what happens then is the oil goes into the food. And once the oil is in your food, it is not coming out. You got to start over. So we're going to do the first fry here a little bit at a time. You need to be careful around a deep fryer with water. Any water that goes in your deep fryer will cause it to boil over rather explosively, and that's very scary. The oil's very hot. So respect your deep fryer. They're not terrifying. Like, you don't have to be afraid of it, but do respect it. And I'm going to do this in 2 batches. Again, home deep fryers are really small. They cannot handle the amount of food that you think that they can. Just because you can fit it in your deep fryer doesn't mean it's going to work. And you'll see when we do the chicken too. So this is my pot lifting tool. And we're just going to tip this in here. I don't know if you guys can see that. And I know this deep fryer, but that, oh, you can see it. So that is very close to spilling over. Not a big deal if it spills over. Just step back. It will settle down. You can mop it up later. Don't get in there and try and mop it up while the oil is hot. I have done that before. It is not a good time. Let's grab one of my kitchen timers. Let's set that for 3 minutes. Okay. So, any questions on preparing French fries, deep frying? I know when I used to work as a prep cook in a restaurant, we'd cut the fries, we'd store them in cold water in the fridge, in a walk-in. I don't recommend you do that at home. The fries get really wet and they will cause your deep fryer to overflow, which is not a good time. If you have a restaurant deep fryer and the big hood, by all means go ahead. But just for home, just cut them, pop them in, you'll be fine. I'm just gonna let this tick down, and we're gonna listen to the fries for a sec. Any questions, by the way, as we go forward? Oh, I'll tell you the Twitch affiliate story. It's funny. There's 4 criteria you need to be a Twitch affiliate, and really the only reason I wanted affiliate was because the videos stay up longer. But But one of the requirements is you have to stream 8 hours in a 30-day period, which for me is tough because I'm only doing this once a week, and they're typically like 60 to 80 minutes, 90 minutes tops. So I figured I'd never get it. But I think what happened is it's a rolling 30-day period, so I must have done a stream on day 1. I did 3 in the middle, and I did one on day 30, and it happened to kick me over the 8-hour requirement. So I got my requirements. One more go down. So when those are ready, we're just going to take them out, put them on a quarter sheet pan, a little paper towel, let them drain. We're good to go. Oh, my Manhattan. This is one of my favorite cocktails. My favorite cocktail is the Old Fashioned. Manhattan is definitely in the top 5, though. We had a request for a French 75 cocktail, which I'm going to do next week. So you just got to remind me. It's a fun cocktail. It's really, really old. But it's from a classier time, I guess. 27 minutes. I want to talk about chicken, not french fries. Okay, and I can also just tell by looking these are actually ready for a first fry. Chew. I'll show you guys the color in just a sec. So one of the things about fries, let me just pop this here. One of the things about fries is they look done before they are. Like, these are actually kind of a nice golden brown already. These are not cooked all the way through. So fries tend to go to, it's easy to think they're done. They tend to go to this color quick, and then they'll stay this color for a long time. So don't pull them out too early, and you will learn by experimenting. Okay, so let's get the other batch in. And we can continue on. These are actually really hot because I put the pan, this quarter sheet down on top of the pot. I preheated them. Okay, again, just gently tip these guys in. Start the timer. Okay, now we can talk about chicken. Okay, so as I said, I wanted to do some of the prep with you guys today. I know that a lot of weeks I have a lot of stuff done in advance, but since wings aren't all that complicated and still might, I don't know, learn a thing or two just about general prep. I get my wings from the butcher. They come whole like this. There's nothing wrong with buying wings that are already prepared by your butcher. These are a little bit cheaper, but mainly because they've got a little tip on them. Sharp knife. Speaking of a knife, if you have a chef's knife, and everybody should have one, but you don't have a steel, this is the thing you have to buy tomorrow. This is how you maintain the edge on your knife, because when you cut with your knife, over time, what happens to the blade edge gets just hang on, get it right. Yeah, it gets turned over, and the knife doesn't need to be sharpened at that point, but it will feel dull because you're cutting with this bent over edge. But it does need to be like straightened up. So, contrary to popular opinion, these don't sharpen a knife. I know they have like little grooves on them and stuff, but a smooth steel rod will work just fine. But this will straighten your edge, and I do this like every 2 or 3 times I pick up the knife, and you can do it like safety. So this is the safest way to do it, which is just point down on something and just draw down. I was never good at this. I never do it this way, but this is the safe way to do it. That is what honing is. Yes. Once you get the hang of it, you can just do it freehand. It's up to you. It depends on your tolerance for risk, I guess. And you don't need any sharp edge will do. You can actually do it on the back of another knife. But do yourself a favor, get a proper steel. Your knife will stay sharp forever if you do that. It will rarely, if ever, need to be sharpened. Okay, so we're talking about chicken wings. I get these from the butcher. They got the tips on, so you just take the tip off. You can't eat these. They're not very good. They don't cook very well. Dogs love them. You can throw that if you have a dog. These make amazing dog treats. I don't have one, so I'm just going to put that aside. And then to separate this, I usually just pick it up by the drumstick. And you get the hang of this after a while. You just run the knife down, and it will go through the chicken wing. So I just thought I'd do some of this tonight. Take these, and again, I just take the tip off, flip it around by the drumstick, and oops, missed it. So you can feel with the knife when it's going through. Okay, let's get the rest of. Timed that poorly. You need to be a little bit careful working with raw chicken that you don't get cross-contamination. Salmonella, thankfully, is extremely rare. So you guys can't see this, but these need to go a bit longer. So the oil from before was hot, and when I put the chicken wings or the fries in, the oil temperature dropped, and it didn't come all the way back up, so these need to go a little bit longer. And I'm going to wait a minute so I don't have to wash my hands all the time. So yeah, salmonella is extremely rare. Still don't take any chances. It's unpleasant to get salmonella. Unless you live in the UK where they don't have salmonella because they vaccinated all their chickens, you need to be a little bit careful. I'm pretty casual about it. I'm trying to set a good example for everybody on stream. So yeah, cross-contamination is a thing. And these are almost ready. Okay. So I'm just going to yank these out. Alright, let's put these on camera for you guys. So as you can see these, or maybe you can't see. Yeah, so these are a fair bit lighter. That's okay. They're very close, and then they will all end up the same color. So I fried these in 2 batches originally. I'll probably fry this all as 1 batch when I go to prepare do the final frying. When you have a home deep fryer, you really have to kind of manage your timing, especially if you're feeding more than 2 people. So I typically do my first fry for the fries, then I do the wings, 1 batch of wings, then I drop the fries, and then while we're eating that, I'll put the second batch of wings in so that they're ready when we get hungry again. Okay, so let's quickly go get through the rest of these chicken wings. And again, this is a great thing. These chicken wings go on sale. That's the other nice thing about chicken wings, is that it's a frequent loss leader for grocery stores. So when these go on sale, if you got space in the freezer, once you have these, and especially if they're pre-cut, this makes a super fast weeknight meal that's really quite tasty. I know Banana Socks is probably not enjoying the ASMR element of me cutting through bone. It's not one of her favorite sounds. Probably has the volume down. There you go. Yeah. Okay, wings are ready to go. Again, let's get rid of these guys. Okay. So now we have our wings. Now what? Good question. So we want these wings to have... everybody likes crispy wings. Nobody likes soggy wings. And the first way you do that is make sure your oil's hot enough and you don't put too much food in the deep fryer. But there are things you can do to enhance the crisp of the wing. You can fry wings just like this and get them crispy. But there is an easy step you can take to make them more crispy. And that is going to be... hang on. Is cornstarch. You can use flour. Cornstarch is better in every way. There's no reason not to use it. It's dirt cheap. I use this stuff mainly because it comes in this really cool container. Any cornstarch will work. It's all the same stuff. And we're going to take a bowl. This bowl. Now, what's enough? Do you season this? I mean, I do. And remember to, when you're seasoning your cornstarch, that not all of it's going to stick to the wings. So you can be quite generous with the salt for this. Seems about right. I'm going to put a few grindings of pepper in here. I'd stay away from other spices until you get your recipe nailed down. I know I've seen recipes where they put like garlic powder, onion powder, and like some really strong spices, and that's fine for chip dip. But I wouldn't use it for my wings. This is an amazing flavor combination already. You don't really need to punch it up. Once you get your basic recipe down, you can start experimenting with other recipes. But for now, I mean, stick with the basics. I'm just going to take all of these in here. So the other thing you need to do here too is, so I'm just going to get these nice coating. And we're only going to be able to do this a little bit. So when I first started making wings, I'd pretty much just, this is two. This will be two people. We normally eat about, actually these are a little bit smaller, so the butcher we have been ordering from, which I don't have, has pretty meaty wings, and we can only eat about 8 of those each. These are a little smaller, we can probably eat about 10 each. But either way, I will say that 2 people, like 1/4 sheet pan feeds 2 people. So if you lay your wings out and you fill one of these pans, for us, that's 2 people. Okay, now, another trick here is, and we're not going to be able to do all of it on stream because I normally let those hydrate for about half an hour to let the cornstarch and the juices in the skin will absorb some of the cornstarch, which makes the wings even crispier. We're going to be a little bit limited because I'm not going to make you guys sit around for half an hour while we wait for these. But in the meantime, we have time to finish off our sauce. So any questions on wing prep? Like this is pretty straightforward, guys. I mean, there's not a lot to this. Having said that, I feel like I spent a lot of time getting this exactly right. So I'm trying to think. No, the fries are sitting right here. So they're waiting. These can sit here for as long as you want. You can put them in the fridge like this. You can even freeze them like this. If you want to make your own like home fries that you can just drop in the deep fryer, you could freeze these. I never do that because I really like fries, and by the time I'm like looking at them, I just want to eat them. But you could. So let's check in on our homemade hot sauce. It looks great, and we are gonna do it. You guys can see. I'm not sticking my head in that again. I learned my lesson. So I'm hoping they'll fit in the trusty little mini chop here. So what I want to do is just blitz these up. I don't really want to get the big blender out if I don't have to, but I think we're good. Now I'm hoping the consistency sort of comes up a bit. And I'm sorry guys, the mini chop's like right under the mic, so... goggles. I would have said no until I stuck my head in the hot sauce the first time. I think you just need to be careful. Gloves would probably make, like a disposable vinyl glove or something, probably makes a lot of sense. I don't do that. But if you were worried about getting it in your eyes or something like that, certainly with cayenne I wouldn't bother. If I was doing, I mean, even with habaneros I wouldn't, but if I was doing like a Carolina Reaper or a ghost pepper or something, I would have gloves on. Those things are just like, you get the smallest little bit of oil anywhere in your mucous membrane and you are going to be hurting. So anyway, I'm going to punch this up. Sorry about the mic. There's not much I can do. Alright, I'm going to bring this over to show you guys the consistency here. I'm kind of liking where we're at with this. It's about right. It's a little chunky, and I think I'm going to strain it. I'm going to give it a little more of a blend, though, and see where we're at. I also think I'm going to put it back on the heat. No, I'm very cleverly, like... Okay, perfect. All looks great. So, like a Vitamix obviously would make short work of that. It's probably overkill for this amount. I will say that once you start making it for yourself, you will make a lot more of it than I'm making right here. Actually, that was really good. I'm still going to strain it, I think. If I was using this as a hot sauce for like tacos, or I was going to spoon it on something, I would leave it just the way it is, because the seeds add the heat, and I kind of want a hot sauce, like a hot sauce. But since I know I'm going to be using this for wings, I'm going to run it through the strainer. Where's my strainer? Okay, that's odd. Oh, here it is. Hydrate. Okay, hang on. I don't even have water. Can I hydrate with beer? It's not the same, is it? Okay, so let's move on to the straining part. I got it set up right here. This is pretty straightforward. And I do want to get every last little bit of goodness out of this. I'll take a bigger spatula. This one's got like a nice little rounded back. This is kind of a spoonula. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to push the sauce through the... You guys can see what I'm doing, right? Yeah, here we go. So we're just going to push all this through the mesh. And you can see how many all the seeds I'm leaving behind. I might be making a mistake here, because those seeds look really tasting good. As I said, if I was making this for to put over something, I would leave these seeds. But since it's going to be a wing sauce, try it this way. I think I've got most of it out. And, you know, we just... Our yield on that, I mean, that was a cup and a half of vinegar. Obviously, it's cooked down. So I'm going to break a rule here. I want a little bit of salt in this, actually. Did I salt this already? I didn't. Okay. I would normally taste this to see where I'm at. However, since we're doing wings anyway, I'm going to wait till I can put this on a wing, and we can taste it together. I don't want to spoil a surprise. So let's just set that aside over there. I will show you how to make the traditional Frank's hot sauce, which we are going to do right now while we're still waiting for that. So let me do that in front of you guys. Where'd I burn it go? Here we go. So the original recipe for Frank's for the sauce is 2 parts red hot to 1 part butter. Very, very straightforward. Every wing restaurant anywhere starts with this sauce as a base. And if for their higher heats, they simply put in cayenne pepper. So all the sauces are the same. That is, what do you think that is, guys? That's 4 tablespoons, which means I'm going to want half a cup of butter. That's too much sauce for tonight. 2 tablespoons of butter, 4 tablespoons of Frank's is going to be the way we're going to go tonight. And that might not be enough, but we'll see. 4 tablespoons, of course, is a 1/4 cup. And I'm going to measure this. A little bit of consistency. And so you can play with this ratio. This is the traditional ratio. If you don't want your wings super spicy, you can go half and half on the Frank's and the butter. Nothing wrong with that. I lost my whisk. So like a touch more butter. Yes. I actually agree, Kingston. I like more butter too. We're going to go with the standard because, I mean, this is what we're doing, right? Like, show you guys, this is a method. This hot sauce is some parts butter to some parts hot sauce, and it's up to you to take that and make it your own. I'm just, as a nod to like history and the origin of the recipe, I'm going to stick with the original. And again, you put it in a little bit at a time. We're kind of doing like almost like an emulsion here. So the other thing too is, if you leave this sauce on the heat, it will break. This doesn't need to be kept warm. You just want to melt the butter enough that you can whisk the sauce in. I love this consistency. See? Nice wing sauce consistency. But if I left this on the heat even a little bit, it'll break. It'll separate back into like oily butter. And it's really hard to incorporate again. So it doesn't need to be hot. We're about to put wings in it that just came out of the deep fryer at 375 degrees. So you don't need to worry about this staying hot. Okay. Now. 7:48. I think we got to get on the wings. So as I said, normally I would. Oh, actually, these are hydrating. Okay. So I don't know if you guys remember how they looked. They looked like they were like covered in icing sugar before. And if you can see, like, I need to get a better food camera. You can see though that the skin is and the wings are starting to absorb some of the cornstarch. This is exactly what we want. I think this is going to turn out great. The oil is back to temperature. Let's just double check that. Yeah, we're good. Okay, and as I said, this is a pretty big deep fryer. I don't know how many. I got about maybe 3 liters of oil in that, but I'm still only going to put in half the wings. If I put all these wings in, the oil temperature will drop below 250 for sure, and they will start to absorb oil, and that is just, it is just not nice. First of all, they won't crisp up, and they'll taste oily, which is not a good flavor. So this is, by the way, I'm using canola oil here, which has a very high smoke point. The only oil I wouldn't use is olive. Obviously, you wouldn't use olive oil. I used to use vegetable oil because it's a little bit cheaper. Quite frankly, canola oil tastes a little bit better. Peanut oil is great, but peanut oil is difficult to get at a reasonable price unless you're a restaurant. So I'm still researching that. But right now, we're using canola. All right, and now there's equal parts flats. Oh, you know what we can do? Banana Socks, you want to do a poll here? We can do wings versus flats and get a vote. So one of the things you can do when you're a Twitch affiliate is do polls in the chat, which I actually don't know how to do, but Banana Socks does. So we're going to have a little poll. So, any questions? This is really straightforward stuff, guys. So, if you have any questions, I'm trying to like think of all the little tips and tricks I do for this. But once you have this method down, it's pretty straightforward. And of course, if you have a much bigger deep fryer, total prep and cook time. Oh man, you can knock this out in 20 minutes tops. Like prep time, including fries, I can cut the fries. I'm just thinking here. I can have this from like fridge to table in 30 minutes. Wings, fries, everything good to go. It's quick. So the other thing too is, if you're not going to eat all your wings or you have leftovers, don't sauce all your wings. Once you sauce a wing, I mean, you can reheat it and it'll be fine, but it isn't going to be crispy. If you don't sauce your wings and don't put them in plastic, just put them on a plate in the fridge, uncovered. They will stay crispy, and you can heat them back up in the oven. You can drop them back in the deep fryer or whatever you want. I should set a timer for the wings. What do you think, guys? I'm thinking like these are little guys. We'll check them after 12 minutes. Okay, so about 12 minutes. Yeah, I really tried to do wings in the oven, and I've never been able to make it work. And I think that one of the arguments for doing wings in the oven is that it's somehow more healthy because you're not deep frying it. But if you deep fry properly at the right temperature, the oil is just a cooking medium. It doesn't go in the food. In fact, chicken wings will come out of the deep fryer with less fat than they went in, because the fat in the skin is going to render out into the surrounding oil. I don't check the temp. They go way past 165. By the time they're crispy, they're like 250 degrees in the center. So you don't really need to check the temperature. You would never eat a wing that was only cooked to 165. Yeah, I mean, that'll work. And I'm all for the method. I don't think it's necessary. Like, it depends on what's your goal for doing them in the oven? If it's for health reasons, you don't need to, as long as you deep fry properly. To me, deep frying tastes better, especially if you're using like canola or peanut oil, which gives a nice flavor. So, well, I mean, then but you can do it in a pot on the stovetop. Do it in a cast iron pan. I deep fry in, they're not healthier though. They're not healthier. I make fried chicken in my cast iron pan all the time. I don't always use a deep fryer. But I'm glad we started this argument or discussion because we still have 10 minutes on the wings. Posture check. What is posture? I have to straighten up. Alright. Ow. You know, that's not a bad idea, but I like leaning forward too. But anyway, okay. And just so you guys don't believe me on the sauce here, let's go back to our nice, this is still maintaining a perfect consistency. Don't leave this on the heat. I'm not going to, no, maybe I'll toss a wing with the habanero. I've already had this, it's really good. That's just regular frying, so that can go away. Right, they're here. Okay. So there you go. And again, timing on this one with a small deep fryer. So the advantage of doing it in the oven, I'm trying to think of something good I can say about the oven, is that all your wings will be ready at once. So, because these Did we ever get that poll going, or did we not figure that out? Anyway, you would be hard-pressed to cook wings for 4 with that deep fryer. Just because you might not be able to crank them out fast enough. Fire safety reasons. I don't know what you're doing with your deep fryer, though. Oh, it ended with 100% flats? Oh, one person voted, that's why. Alright, well, I disagree. Also, I didn't get the vote. What the hell? Alright, well, we'll work on the poll thing. We still have 8 minutes. Let's talk for a few minutes about... Oh, that's why. Next week. 8 minutes. I would like to do 2 things for you guys next week. I'm kind of on a street food kick. I got this pan, which I used my other one, but I'm dying to use this one. This was, if you don't know what takoyaki is, it's super fun to make. It tastes amazing. It's just a really fun thing. So I'm gonna do this, and we're also gonna do something called buldak, cheese buldak, chicken buldak, sometimes called fire buldak. It is a Korean dish, and it's kind of an American Korean fusion thing, or at least it was like, it's a street food dish that they serve to American service people who were stationed in Korea. It's fiery hot. It's really tasty, and it's a really good thing to eat. So next week is going to be, unless somebody is dying to do something else, I'd like to do street food next week. So think about that. We still have a few minutes left on the stream, and maybe we'll do a vote at the end. We have some other things on the go too. We've got the scarpetta pasta, which is like a spaghetti and meatballs. We have other things. I know we did mac and cheese, but do you guys want to know do a lobster mac and cheese? We'll think about that. The other thing I'm doing is I started just a couple days ago. In about 30 days, we'll be doing a personal dish I have created. I'm gonna have to think about that. I actually, I thought I did, because just as a lark, I took this pan one morning for breakfast, and I made pancake balls. I filled it up with pancake batter instead of takoyaki batter, and I made like little pancake balls, which were hilarious and really, really good. And it turns out the Dutch already do that. It's like their national dish. So I thought I was being really smart, and I can't even pronounce what the Dutch version is. It's like Abelsklever or something like that. Abelsklever. Anyway, they already do it. I thought it was cool. Like, I had a cool idea, but it turns out I wasn't the first. But maybe I'll do that as well. I'll look up how to make that, because it'll be like a 2-part episode. Because you can like put little bits of fruit in, or a little bit of chocolate. Like, you can put whatever you want in the center of your pancake. You could fill them with maple syrup. Yes, exactly. See? All kinds of things. 4 minutes on the wings, but I'm going to have a look, see where we're at. Okay, so it's not going to be another 4 minutes, first of all. These are actually nearly done, so these are a little bit smaller than the wings I normally do. So I'm thinking like just in a couple minutes they'll be ready. Again, wings, like, you can't, you can overcook a wing, and quite frankly, restaurants horribly overcook their wings, but it's really hard to do at home. You really have to leave them in for like a long time for them to overcook. Yeah, salmonella is pretty rare. I did sanitize, I've been careful. I gotta say, I'm a lot more casual about it when I'm not on stream. If you really want to be hardcore about it, when I was a prep cook, we'd keep a little dish of like a bleach solution and water, and we'd be wiping our knives down all the time and stuff. But not at home. I'm just not worried about it. Okay, so let's do a taste test. Let's get some wings going here. Yeah, one more minute. Also, while I figure out what I'm going to serve these in here. Oh, we put a plate in the oven. Hang on. Oliver versus Ramsey. I met Jamie Oliver once. He did a book signing here in Toronto. It was really weird. He's a really nice guy, and it was a fantastic little talk. But at the end of his book talk presentation thing, he like turned around and whipped this big cover off a drum set. He had a full drum kit, and he sat down and played drums for like 10 minutes, and then signed books. It was odd. Yeah, it's pretty hot. Oh, the auto mod kicked in. That's cool. Hey, Kingston, you tripped your wanker comment. Tripped my auto mod. I think he was a good drummer. I mean, I don't know a lot about Timekeepers, but he was pretty good. So I don't know if you guys can hear these. Can you hear it? Like, oh, here, put up on the mic. I don't know if you can hear that, but they are like hot. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we'll do the different sauces in different bowls here. So let's start with, yeah, whoa, shit, hot. So these are super crispy. I'll tell you that right now. Like, I don't know if you guys can, you can't hear them. Hear this crispy wing? You can't really hear it, but they are super crispy. So I'm happy about that. They're going to have a good crunch. So normally when I'm serving these, I just, I could put all these in a bowl and just toss them with the sauce. But since we have multiple sauces, we're going to kind of do a little bit at a time here. So this is just traditional Frank's. Not much to say about this. Just give a little mix. The other thing is restaurants over-sauce their wings. Don't do that. You don't want them, first of all, to get less crispy. This was ill-conceived. Let's go back to the traditional thing. Okay. So I've got, these are ripping hot. Holy shit. Still want to try one. Okay, we're going to wait for 2 seconds on that. Maybe I'll sauce up another one. So let's go for, here's the mystery sauce. A little bit, oh, actually this is straight up, isn't it? So you're not done here. This is no butter. This is just straight sauce. So I got to figure that out. Hang on. We're going to make a quick little emergency sauce here. Okay, that'll give me time to try the Frank's. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the fries down. Let's put the fries in. I don't want to do it straight up. I like the consistency with the butter. Alright. Let's drop some fries. And let's get into that wing, okay? So here we go. This is the Frank's Red Hot. In deference to the poll, I'm gonna go with the flat first. Oh, good. It's really crunchy. Nope. There's something about when I cook for you guys on stream. I swear to God, almost every time, whatever I demo for you guys, whatever I make, is usually like the best it's ever been, or very, very close to it. But these are really crispy, and they're really good. Okay. Let me just real quick get back into... fries are almost ready, actually. Alright. Let's add this here. Okay, instant hot sauce. There we go. So let's do another, let's get the fries. I can hear the fries, they're done. It's funny. It's one of the things, you know, and one of the reasons to sort of like work at a particular recipe over time and make things more than once. And it's one of the reasons, you know, I have the little blue book, is that you learn, you know, you learn the sounds of, it's one part butter to 2 parts hot sauce is a really good place to start. And you can mix it from there. So Kingston was saying he likes more butter. He might like a more 1-to-1 sauce. But 2-to-1 is a good place to start. But as I was saying, like, you learn how, you know, your food sounds when it's cooking. You get that sense of like, you know, you can hear when it's done. You know each stage of your preparation by the sounds and the smells and everything else that's going on. It's very tactile. Okay, I'm gonna do a drum and a thing, and I know I said this wouldn't work, but I'm gonna like just pour it over top here. And these will have cooled a little bit. Stir them around there. Okay, I did the flat. Now I'm going to do the drum. It's hot. It looks so hot. Oh my God. Okay. That is really spicy. That is... I don't know what those peppers are. No, water doesn't help. Manhattan. Ooh. So that is significantly hotter. Wow. That is significantly hotter than the habanero sauce I made last week. Wow. Okay. Give me a sec. Fry maybe? No, fries are good. So, here, I'm going to show you guys the fries. That's the color I like to see. Not much to it. Now, if you do your fries in one frying, you can't get this color. And you can't get this consistency of a nice crispy fry on the outside, nice crispy shell, with that, like, amazing, yummy, molten potato goodness on the inside. Which is really good. You know, I should just do all my cooking on stream. It always turns out really well. Okay. I'm going to skip the habanero sauce. Let me sauce these really quick for banana sauce. She's probably hungry. So just give me 2 seconds to do that. And then we will sort of wrap up with any questions and comments and everything else. Actually, it was done. So what I normally do here, this is what I normally do, is just like into a pan or like a mixing bowl or whatever I happen to have. Of course, with you guys, I don't clean as I go, and I know I've said that before. Get back in there. So normally I have lots of things to do. I'm just going to use the pot here. This plate was in the oven, so it's acceptable. I will be right back. Give me... Okay, I'm back. Okay, so I feel like we've covered, went longer than I thought. I thought wings was going to be super quick. So how do you guys feel about, excuse me, how do you guys feel about making your own hot sauce? Is that something that you'd want to try? Because I got to tell you, I do it a lot. And this is, wow, one of the hotter ones I've ever made. Which is funny because these were just, where'd they go? I don't know where I put them. Those were just regular old cayenne peppers. Like, I don't know why they were so smoking hot. I don't know what I did with them. It doesn't matter. But, wow, they packed some punch. But that is something about hot peppers is that they can really vary from one batch to the next. I've noticed this with, especially with jalapenos. Yeah, sure. I mean, you can always buy your wings pre-cut, right? Like, I just happened to pick these up because it was a good deal and I had to cut them myself. But you can buy the pre-split from your butcher or your supermarket or whatever. Yeah, those were hot. Those were spicy. Wow. I'm still gonna dive back into this one. I like spicy food, but something else, man. See, the first one was just a fluke. Nope. Yeah, yeah. Okay. No, it's still pretty hot. I was going to say, I was thinking it was, ooh, no, don't touch my eyes. I was thinking maybe I just got a mouthful of sauce or something on the first one. But those are, spicy. The fries help. Okay, guys, well, if you don't have any questions, I'm going to hang around for a bit. And torture myself with these really hot wings. Finish my beer. If anyone has any questions, now is the time to ask. If not, I'll see you next week for the street food, which I'm really looking forward to. Making the takoyaki is just hilarious. It was so much fun. I'm having a really good time with it. I'm going to practice a couple more times before next week. But it's really easy to do. And I know, I'll talk about this next week. I know you need a special pan for it. But honestly, it was $25 on Amazon. You can have it the next day. No reason not to have one. And if you have kids, the little pancake balls, whatever they're called, are sure to be a hit with kids. They're just hilarious. Favorite street food? That's a really good question. I gotta tell you, I am a sucker for just a really good street hot dog. I ate a lot of them when I was a bike courier. I became friends with the person who owned, the family that owned the hot dog stand at Yonge and Eglinton outside the library there. And I was cooking even then. This is a long time ago. But one of the things was I had this barbecue sauce, which I thought was great. And I was talking to them one day about sauces, and I was like, "Oh, I'll bring you some up." So I made up a batch, and I took them like a 1 liter bottle. No, not a 1 liter. Well, like a half a liter bottle of barbecue sauce. I was like, try it out, see what you think. And I didn't get by for a couple of days. I think it was the weekend. And I went by on Monday, and they were like, "You got to bring more sauce." First of all, we're out, and they said people were coming from offices like 4 and 5 blocks away just for the barbecue sauce on their hot dogs. So I made a deal with them. I made up like a giant batch. I took them 2 liter Coke bottles of barbecue sauce, and as long as I kept them in barbecue sauce, I got to eat free hot dogs all summer, like as long as they were out. So I ate a lot of hot dogs that summer, but I really do like just grilled street meat. It's good. I like it. Other than that, I mean, obviously tacos is a no-brainer. Yeah. See? That's what I like. Just slice it up. It's been sitting on the grill for a couple hours. Warm it up, throw it in a bun, toasted. Nothing wrong with that. I'm going to dive back into this wing, though. See how that goes. Okay. I don't know why that's so hot. Because this is just cayenne peppers. Like, I like hot food, but that is just smoking. Seriously, the habanero sauce I made, which is here, doesn't taste anything like, it is, Smooshy. It's hotter than the hot, Samyang. Like the hottest Samyang, it's like that. Maybe as hot as. It might not be hotter. At that point, it's kind of hard to tell, but it's at least that hot. I don't know if you guys followed the whole ramen challenge thing and the spicy ramen. It was a craze. It probably still is. But if you've had that ramen, this is at least that hot. I don't want to say it's too hot for me, but it's really hot. Yeah. I'm going to fry up the other batch after and just put them in the regular Franks. I'm going to save this this one, I don't know, for special occasions or something. Yeah, it's an eye-opener. I can't imagine what it would have been like if I'd left the seeds in. Okay, guys. Any other questions? As I said, I'm going to hang around for a few. I have a little Manhattan to go. And hopefully cool off my mouth with some of these fries. But thanks for coming out. Thanks for following the channel. Thanks for supporting it. I love doing this with you guys. Makes my night. So I'm glad I can share it with you guys. Ooh. Okay. That's it for me. I'm done. See you next week. Over and out.